Okay, guys, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, the radio show. The current episode is the Niko and I podcast, and I have with me a very special guest. Her name is Rhema. She is a national champion in the javelin throw. She is currently in the Bahamas. That is where she's from. She transferred to Nebraska this season, where in her first season she won a national title, the first woman to win a national title since 2006. And then the last time a javelin thrower has ever won a national title was 1983. So Rhema is the second ever athlete at Nebraska in the javelin to win a national title. Rhema, how you feeling about being on the show today?
I'm a little bit nervous because, like I told you before, I'm not the biggest fan of interviews, but I'm very excited to be here. And I thank you so much for inviting me.
Of course. Thank you so much for doing this. So I want to go ahead and start things back all the way to your FIU days. So you became a freshman in 2020, 2021, and you actually broke your school record. I think it was your first meet, right, at FIU?
Yeah, yeah, it was my
50, was it 54 meters?
yeah, 54. I can't remember like the centimeters either at
Yeah,
this
I know
point.
it's 54 meters. You broke your first meet. So go ahead and tell me what your career was like getting recruited from the Bahamas to FIU, and then go ahead and just lead us through there and how you got to Nebraska.
All right. So initially, the coach from FIU reached out to me and was interested in me back when I think I was only throwing 43 meters at the time, actually.
Wow.
And I guess he'd seen me compete at a University of Miami meet that I competed at back when I was at my club back home.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of reached out to me, talked to me in person for a little bit, but I didn't really hear much about him or much from him since then. And then over the summer of, I think, 2019, I was like working on my craft, getting better in the job, and I ended up recording a video of me doing like a javelin drill. And my coach at the time, my at-home coach, posted it on Facebook. And I think he said he got like a lot of wave from college coaches and stuff because they had seen like improvement in my jab technique and they were like impressed.
Mm-hmm.
And he was one of the coaches that kind of like responded to that video. And he reached out to me directly and he was like, wow, Rima, like you've improved a lot. Um, how much do you think you're gonna throw this upcoming season, this upcoming 2020 season? And I was like, I think I'm going for around 47, 48 meters, hopefully. But I feel really good and my technique is coming together a whole lot, as you can see from the video. And he was like, okay, okay. Well, I just want to reach out to you and possibly consider having you come on a college visit. And I was like, sure, this would have been my first college visit at the time. I didn't really know what to expect. And I was really excited that he even approached me with the prospect. And then when the 2020 season started, I ended up throwing just what I kind of predicted, a high 47, basically 48-meter throw. And I think that kind of like added like gas to the fire with him wanting me to come to the school. So I went on my visit. I loved it. I loved the people. It was very similar to home in terms of culture and like people and even like music and stuff a little bit. Um, and then I was really used to Florida. And so I kind of took into consideration all those kind of aspects. And I went on a few other visits, but FIU was the one that I kind of settled with because I don't know, I gravitated towards it a lot. And like you said, I ended up going there and had like a terrific PR. It was a huge PR off of my 47-meter throw. And I guess the rest of that season was more of like learning the ins and out of like the collegiate system because I never like been in like competitions, the series of competitions, like how the college, the NCAA system is like set up. And so it was just me learning the ins and outs. And then I ended up making it to NCAA's that year. That year, NCAA's was like, I don't know, it did not go good for me at all. But I guess I always keep that kind of experience in my back pocket now. And so when I went to NCAA's the year after, and then even this year, like I use it as like, I don't want to repeat that year again. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But kind of, that was the process.
And that's still really good though. As a freshman, you mean your accomplishments, if you look at it, you came in, you PR'd by like 5, 6, 7 meters from 47 to 50, 54. And then you placed, I think it was 21st, your first ever national meet. That's a really good learning experience because then next year you came back and you placed fourth. So can you talk about that transition from your freshman year to your sophomore year from going from 21st to fourth?
Well, like I said, I guess that whole first year was kind of like a learning experience for me,
Right.
like getting used to how the college meets are set up. like beforehand, I didn't know nothing about a conference or regionals or not. I didn't really know about it. I just knew there were big meets coming up towards the end of the season. That was in my head. And so I was just trying to have each meet as like okay, I need to throw hard. I need to do good every meet. But I feel like that's not exactly how you want to play it out. You want to throw your best every meet, but certain meets, I guess based on how your weights and your training is set up, you shouldn't expect yourself to throw like crazy every meet, but I kind of had that expectation. I was like, oh, I gotta throw really good every meet.
Right.
But I guess my second year, since I kind of had my first year experience in my back pocket, me and my coach at the time, we kind of like changed a bit of stuff in terms of training. Like we tried to I guess change my weight program in a way that would set me up so that I'd have like my best meet towards the end of the season instead of like just at the beginning part of the season.
Right.
I did end up getting a really good meet at my first, like good throw, a good comp at my first meet. And usually when I ended up going to meets where I was with a lot of competition, a lot of good competition, a good rivalry, I ended up performing really well. So that was like a good indicator for me as an athlete. Like I'm good. Like when it comes to big competition, like I don't necessarily fall under pressure. Like I like that. I realized that I really, really like that.
Right.
But the second year I kind of I feel like the first year I kind of at NCAA's, I put a lot of pressure because it was like my first time. I feel like I was the new kid on the block, like I felt like, I don't know. I just wanted to show, I guess, the college system what I was good for, because at the time my best throw had only come at the beginning of my season. I hadn't PR since, so I was like hoping that NCAA's, like I say, like I really like competition, so this was going to be like the best competition this season. So
Right.
hopefully I was going to like pop off or something, but didn't necessarily happen that way. And so my second year at NCAA's, I was just trying to think like, you don't have to do too much, just do what you know you could do and still throw far and give your best. And I feel like I just did that my second year in NCAA's, and I ended up getting a completely different result, a whole lot better result, I should say. Yeah. And that's kind of what happened.
That's amazing. So the last meet of the season, like you said before, you rise up to the competition. Did you PR at the national meet last year or your fourth year? When you placed fourth?
Oh, no, I didn't PR at my last meet, unfortunately, but I was still pretty close. I think I threw 55 meters high.
55.
But yeah, but my PR that season came at my first meet. Actually, it came at my University of Florida meet that I competed where I had like really good comp, where I threw 56.
56. Okay,
Yeah.
so you had your 2 years at FIU. You obviously showed great progression from 54 to 56. And so when it came to getting to know Coach St. Clair, where did you guys first meet? Did you guys meet at the national meet, or did you know him before you even got to college? How did that connection go down?
I've heard about him. I knew he was a really good coach. I heard he had great athletes and the results showed. But I never officially met him until I came on a visit or until we like started interacting with with potential of me coming on a visit or coming to the school.
Right.
And then we ended up meeting in person officially when I came on the visit. And I remember I came into Omaha instead of Lincoln Airport. And so, we had like a drive to go to the Nebraska campus. And the whole drive we were just talking and, getting to know each other and stuff. And I enjoyed his company a whole lot. And so that, I guess from that car ride, I could see like he had really good characteristics that I would hope for in a coach and stuff. And then on the visit is when I really got to know a little bit more about him and stuff. But I got to know all the sides of Coach St. Clair when I officially decided to come to Nebraska. But before I even got to meet him in person, like I had known about him. I had heard a lot of good things. And so that was one of the big reasons I decided to transfer to Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big jump too. I mean, you were the lead at your school. You had the school record from your freshman year. You had a really good progression from placing fourth in nationals. What made you, decide to come to Nebraska? Besides Coach St. Clair, because you were in such a good spot, placing fourth in nationals, you could have just stayed complacent. But what made you want to take that jump to coming to a school, with not knowing how you would end up coming out the other side?
Well, in all honesty, I was really comfortable at FIU. Yeah, I genuinely was. I felt like I got along really well with the team. Me and my coach got along, but I also have goals of potentially reaching the high heights, making it to Olympics, making it to world champs. And I feel like staying at FIU was just me being comfortable and wouldn't necessarily allow me to push to the high heights that I aspire to get to. I really felt like I needed a bit better coaching, and I really needed the facilities and resources that would help me get to the level that I wanted to get to. I felt like FIU was a great school, phenomenal school, but it didn't have what I needed in terms of those things, And so that's when I started kind of like and deciding that I want to go into the transfer portal and like hunt for a school that would give me the things that I feel like would help me get to this next level,
Exactly. And then so what was your experience like, this entire off season, this past year, fall, because fall, you don't get to compete until outdoor. And I don't know if you threw shot put or discus, anything indoor, jab, or, obviously there's no jab indoor, but how was that, when you first got there, whole new group of people, different training partners, and not being able to compete until outdoor season? Was it a bit lonely? Was it a bit of a cultural shock? Because I know when I came to Nebraska, it really was for me. So how was it for you?
Yeah, so like you said before, I spent 2 years in FIU. And I actually just was telling somebody else this. The entire 2 years I was in FIU, I never got homesick. And FIU is in Miami. Miami is literally like a 45-minute plane ride back home here.
Right.
So when I went all the way to Nebraska, it wasn't a 45-minute plane ride back home. The culture was completely different. It was a culture shock. It's like I knew what I was getting myself into,
Right.
but I didn't really know. It was a culture shock, but it wasn't necessarily a bad one. It's more of a, okay, this is just a new experience. Let's see what I can learn from it, you know? But off-season training, well, when I joined a new group, I feel like a good amount of the job squad were also new. And so I guess we were all kind of getting to know each other and stuff. In terms of the team, I feel like we had a lot of people who've been here for a while. And when I came in and stuff, everybody kind of welcomed me with open arms. And so I really like that. Like the people are really nice. I love that. But when it came to off-season training, it wasn't necessarily lonely because I was with my job group. Like we all didn't get to go to indoor season or anything. Right. Except Dash, because he did the long jump.
He did long jump, right? He snuck in.
Yeah. But I wouldn't say it was lonely. I'd say it was different from what I was used to. I feel like in terms of training, they incorporated a lot more like mobility stuff. Like we ended up doing like gymnastics, and then we had a day where we would try to go to the pool and stuff. I had never been doing those things before. I would just go to the gym, work out, do recovery when I needed to do recovery, like go to the PT and stuff, right. And then throw when I had to throw. But I feel like Coach Sinclair was like preaching a lot about making sure you're doing like things to help keep you mobile and getting on top of recovery. Boy, he's be down my back about recovery and stuff. But I wouldn't say it was lonely. I think it was great, honestly. I enjoyed the off season and getting to know the team and the coaches and stuff, and getting to learn the ins and out of Nebraska as a whole. So yeah.
Yeah, I think what you experienced was that Nebraska nice. That's what I experienced when I came here too. That's what a lot of people called it. I feel like a lot of people out here are super friendly. Love to get to know you. And I know some people do struggle though. I had a few teammates and friends that, they came here and it just wasn't what they were expected. So it was really cool to see your perspective. So transferring into, the outdoor season, was your first competition at Texas Relays or was it at Baylor?
Yeah, no, it was Texas Relays.
Texas Relays. And then I can't remember exactly how that one went. I know Baylor went really well for you, and I know Arizona went really well, but how did Texas Relays go for that first meet?
Texas Relays was like terrible.
Really?
Like I couldn't ask for that meet to go any worse. I threw really bad. I didn't make finals. And I think that was the second competition ever since being in college that I didn't get to make finals.
Yeah.
Didn't make finals. I ended up leaving there with like a small Achilles injury. Like it did not go well at all. Ended up throwing like 49 as my best throw. Mm-hmm. Which now that I look at it is like 10 meters off of my PR.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I guess I use like, because usually the first meet is kind of to gauge where you are in the season, and knowing that I went out there and I threw really bad, even though like I had some technique problems, knowing that I threw really bad kind of like was a bit discouraging, and I was like slightly worried. But when I talked to Coach Sinclair and stuff, he kind of reassured me, like, it's okay, it happens, you're on the right track. You like, he emphasized like how big of my problems was in terms of technique on the runway were. And so when we fix those things up, it would put me way past that, way past the 49. And so shouldn't worry myself about that. And so that kind of like helped me a bit to know that that was just like a fluke, almost. It was a fluke. And so the rest of the meet should kind of be a lot better. So first meet did not go well at all.
Yeah. But then the next meet though, where did you break the school record? Was it Arizona or was it Baylor?
It was Baylor.
Baylor. And then how did that one feel to go from 49 to the very next meet, throw in for, what, 10 or not even 10, was it 7 meters? Because was it 58 or 59?
I threw 59 at Baylor, but at Arizona, which was my next meet, I threw 56.
56. Okay.
Yeah,
So
56.
10 meters more at the very next meet.
Well, yeah, the other two meets, the next two meets then.
And how did that feel throwing 59? Because your PR before that was 56, right?
It was 56.
So how did 3+ meters?
Yeah. It felt awesome. Like, and I feel like that 59 came so easy. Like I was shocked when this was like 59. I was like 59. It looked like it was far, but I didn't think it was that far,
Right.
But it felt awesome, and I felt like I was really like pumped up, and I couldn't wait to go throw again, and because one of the goals for my season was to break 60 meters, and I feel like I still have the opportunity to do it, and I have it in me, but it's just right now the 59s keep teasing me.
Exactly. Well, hey, you're right there. You're literally, 59, you did it pretty consistently this season too. How many meets did you throw 59 at? Was it Baylor and then the national meet and then was it one more as well?
No, it was just Baylor in the national meet. But at the national meet, I threw 59 twice. So I was like, oh,
Yes, you did do it
I
3
have
times.
it in me. Yeah.
So fast forward, another really cool experience I guess remembered at the Big Ten championship where you guys went 1, 2, 3, 4. How was that experience for you as a team to, get the complete sweep for you, Coach Sinclair? How did it feel just, being up there with all your teammates and you just completely dominating the field?
One word, amazing. It was amazing. All in all, I knew us as a team, and then us specifically as a job squad, we've been working really hard, to get the throws and the progression that we've been experiencing. And so to see like that hard work pay off, where each one of us like we got the sweep in Java conference, like I feel like that showed Coach Sinclair like the work was paying off for sure. Like we were putting in the work, and it showed. Yeah.
That's amazing. And then so transferring from there, your first Big Ten title. By the way, how did you like the medals from there too? From the FSU conference medals to the Big Tens. Which medal do you like better?
I have to go and say the Big Ten. It came in like a nice little cool suede box and stuff. Like when I was getting the box, I was like, look at the box.
Just open it up. Wow.
Right. Yeah.
It is extravagant. I will say. I won my first ever one Big Ten indoors in the 4x4. And I was like, what? I get a medal? Man,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. When I brought it home, my parents looked at it and was like, ooh la la. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was like really nice.
So from the Big Ten meet, you went down to regionals, and I know your regional trip wasn't as easy or as seamless as you would have liked it to be. Can you go ahead and talk about that experience and how it was making it past regionals and making it to nationals?
Okay. Yeah, like regional meet was like a kind of like a wake back up into reality type of meet. After coming off a conference, and even when I won conference, I felt like the throw in wasn't too hard, or my body it didn't take too much out of me to get like the big throw that I needed. And so and then during that meet, I kind of was like very relaxed for the most part, and I tried to keep my mind clear, because I feel like when I came to my Texas Relays meet, I was like very like go go go, like I got to do this when I throw, and I saw how poorly that turned out,
Right.
And so the rest of the season, I tried to focus on like not trying to chase numbers necessarily, but just chase a throw, just get a throw out there, I should say. And so kind of I did that at Baylor. I did that at conference. And so I was trying to have to see him like mindset, stay relaxed, everything at regionals. But I guess then I must see relaxed too much or something. I don't know what it was, but I ended up throwing 52 as my best throw, and I was like hanging on by a thread to make it into nationals.
Right.
And I was trying to get aggressive, but it was like the throws weren't coming. And then when I finally did get like a really good throw out there, because we only got 3 throws, the first 2 throws were like I couldn't get it out there for nothing. And I actually was trying really hard to get the throw there, but it's like it would not go. And then the last throw when I finally got it, because I knew like this is my last shot to try solidify my spot without having to worry about it. I threw and then I foot fouled it. And it definitely would have been a better throw to probably get me in the second flight, but I foot fouled it. And so I kind of like had to wait and kind of play the waiting game to see if
cross your fingers.
Listen,
Wow.
after I foot fouled the throw, I turned and looked at Coach Justin. And I guess he was trying to be strong for me because I was already freaking out. And I looked at him and he just shook his head. He was like, it's okay. And then I walked off and I was so stressed out I couldn't sit down. I was like walking up and down. I was checking all the distances for the other girls' throws. And it wasn't until I think it was the second to last thrower, because I think she hadn't qualified as yet. But I knew she had the capabilities to throw a throw that would knock me out of standings. And after she threw and unfortunately she didn't qualify, that's when I knew like, okay, like I made it. Yeah, a little bit of a sigh of relief, but also like I was really sad and I was kind of like angry at how results came out, because I was trying to compete, but I feel like I waited too long to try and really, I guess, throw it out there, waiting too long to like really get aggressive. And after that, me and Coach Sinclair like had a talk. Like he felt like, and I kind of felt it too, like I wasn't as focused as I should have been. And like I say, it was like a wake-up call from being complacent. And so after that, like my mindset just was like, I can't let this happen again. I go into nationals. By God's grace, I made it into nationals. And so I can't fumble the bag, I can't fumble this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it seems like you saved the best for last too. I mean, maybe you needed that wake up at regionals to, all right, I got to get locked back in. I got to do this. And, Coach St. Clair cares a lot about you too. Cause, after that, after you competed, I ended up driving home with them in the van, and we were just like, hey, how did the meet go? And he literally told us straight up, he's like, I cried, I puked, I was so frustrated today, but we made it out. And I was like, oh man. And I didn't know where you stood in your javelin until later in the day, until where I checked, and I was like, oh my God, she barely snuck out. And then fast forward 2 weeks, you ended up winning the national title, and that really cool video came out of you throwing it and Coach St. Clair picking you up. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. And shout out to Axelina too for also becoming a national champion too.
Thank you so much.
So how did it feel at nationals? Was it your last throw that you claimed the 59? Because I knew you threw 59 twice. Was it your second and third, or your first and second?
It was first and second. Like I said, after the regional meet, like Coach Sinclair kind of like sat me down. He was like, Rhema, we gotta basically get locked back in.
Lock in.
When you go, like you need to set the tone for the competition. You shouldn't be chasing nobody. Help them kind of like chase you. And so from my warm-up throws, from like me warming up and stuff, like I wasn't trying to do too much, because I learned like doing too much won't help me, and doing barely enough will not help me either. But I was like trying to make sure like get myself ready and prepped up. Oh, sorry about that noise.
You're good.
Get myself ready and prepped up. And I was trying to be as focused as I could be, like making sure I had when I did my practice throws, like they were feeling really good. I was focusing on little technical stuff, making sure like I was aggressive. And so from the first throw, I ended up throwing 59. And then I was like, whew, okay, I get that big throw up there. Now I know for sure I'm gonna make it to finals. Now let's build on that. And so I think the first throw was like 59 low. I think 59.04, I believe. And then the second throw, I threw 59 again, because I was trying to be more aggressive and really go at it. And so I threw 59 40. 59.28. I'm sorry, I don't remember the centimeter.
You're good. And then was that your PR?
Yeah, that was my PR. I think maybe 59.46, something around there.
Right.
That's when I threw the actual winning throw of the competition in my second attempt. And then on my third attempt, I kind of like tried to speed up things with my run up, and then it went a little haywire, and so I threw 56. But then I was in the first flight, so then I had to sit down for like
Watch
30,
everybody else.
30, 40 minutes waiting until the second flight warmed up and then through, and then I was able to get back in the game later on. But
Man,
yeah.
that's amazing. So, starting out from your season from Texas Relays when you went to 49, fast forwarding all the way until nationals, that's a whole 10-meter difference, broke the school record, Big Ten champion, and the national champion. For anybody out there that, has aspirations of getting to the same position that you're in, what would you have to tell them? What do you think it, takes to, as you said before too, about not being complacent, where you made the switch to this school just to get better training and better facilities. What do you think it takes to become a national champion?
Well, I'm just gonna kind of like take off of what you just said right there. Like, don't be happy with being comfortable. Keep working hard. Don't be complacent, right? And then stay focused. I feel like a lot of people kind of like get a little deterred or get a little discouraged sometimes when they don't see things coming. You have to stay focused and stay patient. This is all like you plant the seed and then you keep watering it and then it grows. So like throws, like big throws don't just come overnight. Like you have to put a lot of work into it. Or not just big throws, big jumps. But I guess fast times and stuff. They don't just come overnight. You have to work really hard for it and stay focused. And well, I'm a big believer in God. I believe that God also helped me a whole lot throughout this journey. So if you're a believer, like pray, and in due time, like the results will come. But you just cannot you cannot lose focus, and you have to stay consistent. So I feel like those are kind of like some key things you have to keep in mind.
That's amazing. And then also not even coming, you were born in the Bahamas as well, and then coming to the US too. So coming in as into a completely new environment too. Because I know at Nebraska we do have a lot of people that are internationals. So that's just insane to me how you're able to, come into a completely new environment, not know anybody, and still be super successful. What do you think the biggest change from the Bahamas to the US is? Just not even like a track thing, but more or less a culture thing.
Okay, well, see the US, when you say US, that's very broad. I feel like when I would have said, if you said Nebraska, I would have said the weather. The weather is night and day. It's night and day. No comparison. It's like it's so cold up there, and it's so cold for so long,
Right.
In Nebraska. When I was in Miami, it was like very similar weather, like I say, I kind of felt a little bit like I was at home. No really homesickness, but the US as a whole, what's the difference? I mean, it's really just like traditions that we have here in the Bahamas. They don't really carry over in the US, but I feel like that's just about any other country, like something here back home. And the beaches. I should have said the beaches. The beaches are completely different. That, and then like some traditions that we have back home. Like we have something called junk canoe, and then the cuisine, like we have something called conch that we eat a lot of. We eat it in terms of like we put it or we serve it in ways like something called conch fritter, conch salad, crack conch. Like the cuisine is very different. But yeah, I guess those are some of the things.
Some things. Okay, I'm gonna have to check out the Bahamas one day because I've been to Puerto Rico, so I can relate to what you're talking about with the beaches.
Yeah.
I get that environment too. Well, awesome, Rhema. Thank you so much for doing this podcast for me. If you have any closing statements that you want to make for just your season, for any of your fans out there, what would you have to tell them?
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much to everybody that's been kind of like in my corner and supporting me the whole way through. I really, really, really do appreciate it. Like when I tell people I appreciate something, I genuinely do. Like you probably might not even know how much I appreciate everything that all my supporters and stuff do for me. And all the encouraging words that I get from these people. But I appreciate you and all that you do. And then I want to say, I guess, thank you to Nebraska athletics as a whole, like for welcoming me with open arms, for making me feel like I'm really a part of the team, and what I do. They're always kind of like supporting me through things, I guess. And what else would I like to say? And yeah, I guess go Big Red, yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Rhema. And yeah, this will be up soon. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Niko.
Of course.
All right.